This letter by Brad Kidwell regarding his father, Collie. As a child, you really don't know much about a parent's professional life. As I went through memorabilia and recalled the high points of my father's career, I realized that my dad's essential character was present in both his professional life and our home life, although not in quite the same way. My father had certain principles that he held to, and he could be a very demanding coach and administrator. When he first began coaching football in the early 50s, he had rules in place that would never fly today. For example, his players weren't allowed to date during football season. Those who worked for my father at Atascadero High School probably found he had other rules or standards they were expected to adhere to regardless of what was required at other area high schools. My father believed in doing things the right way, whether it was popular or not. I can't tell you how many times I was told growing up that being a parent was not a popularity contest. I imagine the faculty or coaches at Atascadero High School may have heard that being a teacher or administrator was not a popularity contest also. Although my dad was a demanding leader, he never asked more of his faculty, coaches, and staff than he was willing to give himself. He also took pride in his chosen career and expected the same pride in others. I remember that when he first arrived at Atascadero High School, he realized that one of his first orders of business was to improve its physical appearance so that teachers and students would take pride in their school and its grounds. Because of the great support my father received from the superintendent's office, faculty, coaches, and staff at Atascadero High School, he enjoyed the freedom to be the best leader he could be. Atascadero became a welcoming community for my father and mother, one in which they were deeply happy and lived contentedly until the end of their lives. In today's world, where many people believe there are no more role models, my brother and I can attest this is not true. We had two role models, our father and mother. Thank you, Brad, and thank you, Collie and Marge.
Coach Welsh has some words, and this was kind of, we're taking the place of the two sons who couldn't be here, but for all of us, Larry has some things to say that those of us who knew Collie, I think will really appreciate. Larry Welsh.
Thank you. Like I should have saw me when I walked in tonight, but I love the fact that I had an interview with Collie, and the interview went like this. Hello, Mr. Welsh. And then Don and Gene were asking questions for about a half an hour, and he was, all this time he was doing this with his pencil, and he said, goodbye, Mr. Welsh. I went home and told my wife, I don't think I got a job. So I think I'm just wasted the drive. But Collie's one of the most respected men I've ever been around. We always referred to him as a head coach. He never missed one of our games. I think he missed one, and there was something very, very important. Don says he got lost, but I'm not sure. But you could count if you had to see Mr. Kidwell for anything. You could go to the basketball game and he'd be there, Jim's game, Sherry's game, Tommy's game. No matter what game it was a home event, Mr. Kidwell was going to be there. And the respect for Collie was, it went to respect, and then there was always that little edge of fear. And when I first come here, I went out to look at a piece of property. I had Don and Gene with me. And we were going down the street, and they said, that's Collie's house. I said, well, I was going to see Collie. Oh, no, you don't go and see Collie. I just turned and went and seen Collie. 2 hours later, we left. He was a gracious host. We had a great time, went on. But that's, and then I had a teacher I worked with, and she had to go see Mr. Kidwell about a parent's complaint. And the parent was there and all that. she was, Mr. Kidwell, you know, he's a little tough and maybe a little chauvinistic. About 15 minutes later, she comes back and she says, that's the greatest man I know. She said, parents left real quick. And you don't want to go and see Colby about a parent or anything, because he was going to defend his teachers, and if you had a problem with Mr. Kidwell, he was going to pull you in, and you might not have got any better chewing than you got from Colby. If you deserve it, you got it, and you got all the praise in the world too. And he was the most fair person I ever met. I have total respect for him, and our coaches, all of our coaches did. And it was sad to lose Colby. It was last year, and he's really going to be missed. And there's not a person here that knew Colby that is going to miss Colby. And for some reason or other, he had a way of touching your heart. And Marge, same with Marge. She was the fun one. He was a serious one. She was the fun one. But Colby could have fun, and he could enjoy himself. And I know him and Reggie Booker and Doc Green, and they made all the trips, and it was just great. So he's my man. I know there's not a coach back there who want to test the fact that he'd give you all the support in the world. And as a member of a coaching staff and you're representing your school, there's not a better person to have behind you than Colby Kidwell. And I thank him for the years that we had together, 18 years, and really enjoyed it. And I know all the inductees that went through it his time, and respect Colby for what he did for us. Thank you.
Mr. Tucker, Don Tucker, to be inducted tonight. Mr. Tucker could not be here. He was not feeling well. So we're sorry about that, and talk about Tucker another time. Darrow and Lindell Sly.